Hey, shalom, 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 shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakwadash. Giving double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Peace and salutations to the Akim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth in 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sincere sisters who believe in this gospel. So I want to entitle this lesson, Babylon is not winning this war. They've been lying, right? And I got a couple of videos that I want to play. I saw this video the other day. I know brothers have gone into it, but I want to play this video.
I'm finally starting to see people talking about the fact that CENTCOM is lying, and there are hundreds of dead U.S. soldiers, thousands of casualties. I have been screaming bloody fucking murder for months. They are annihilating our bases in the Middle East. Barbecue chicken type shit, okay? They are fucking us up. And there are still motherfuckers out there who are like, oh, you know, there's only 18 dead U.S. service members. Brother, there was 18 dead on day fucking one. We have been getting our shit pushed in left and right at every single one of our fucking bases. Oh, surprise, surprise. When you build bases across the entire fucking planet, it's easy to bomb and kill you. And also, nobody's addressing the fact that, like, everybody who died over the past 48 hours, they were all air defense specialists. We're talking about the people who are trained in shooting down the Iranian drones and the Iranian missiles. You know what that means to me? It means the Iranians got some pretty good fucking intel. Not only are they bombing the shit out of our bases, not only have we used 80% of our fucking interceptors and we're rationing ammo, sometimes not even trying to shoot that shit down. Not only all that, but the Iranians know what part of the base to hit to take out the air defense specialists. Donald, you are outmatched. You are outclassed. And we are out-fucked because of your decisions. Told ya! I'm finally...
Right, so we got that video, right? And then I got another video, but let me get a scripture while I can. Right, it's the book of Psalm. It's lucky I am driving at the moment too, so bear with me. It's the book of Psalm, chapter 137. We're going to start at verse 8. It says, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone, right? So the nation that we live in, or we see today, well, you know, majority of brothers, because we got brothers that live all around the world, but America is the daughter of Babylon in the scriptures, right? And this scripture is talking about us being happy to see the fall of Babylon, right? Because when you look at what's going on over there in the Middle East and Iran and everything like that, right? They've been lying. They've been saying that, you know, we've only suffered 18 casualties, you know, only a few hundred have been injured and things like that, but 96% of them have been returned to duty, right? You know, they've been telling us that, right? But if all your bases are getting essentially fucked up, how was only 18 people dying, right? That doesn't make sense, right? And you know, I've even heard brothers bring out the fact that ancient Egypt, when they went to war and were losing particular wars, they would lie to their people about, you know, what was going on. And this is the same thing that Babylon is going to do, because America has to portray or has to put up this facade to its people as the strongest nation in the world, the undefeatable nation. All right, man, what the fuck are you doing? Slocky, bear with me, man. People can't fucking drive. Dude, why are you, bro? You 100 some feet from this thing. You don't know how to drive. Okay, Slocky, man. But, Babylon has to portray to its citizens that it's the strongest nation in the world, undefeatable, invincible. Can't nobody defeat us. Yeah, you can hit us, but you ain't gonna do too much damage to us and things like that, right? The Babylonian people have to be continuously fed that facade and believe that facade. The issue is that a lot of people, there's counter information that comes out to what Babylon says. And it's so sloppy nowadays that a lot of the things that they try and say or push or say that this happened and that happened, it just doesn't make sense anymore. It really doesn't make sense anymore. So what people are doing is they're people are now beginning to think, which is something that America don't want you to do. People are now beginning to think, and they're beginning to see past the bullshit and see past the lies, right? So that brings me to this scripture, Isaiah 47, and we're going to start at verse 1. And it reads, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." Right? And I was listening to the KC brothers, the brother Taziar and the brother Rahak Gabar. They was going into the situation with the IDF soldiers, or not the soldiers necessarily, but the bill that passed the House of Representatives for America to merge its military with the IDF, right? And they're talking about merging, just technology and intelligence, right? No, they're gonna bring these IDF soldiers over here to Babylon the Great. And when they want to enforce and bring forth this NWO, they're going to use those IDF soldiers to do it. And the brothers from KC was kind of going into all of the war crimes and atrocities that those IDF soldiers have committed over here in Babylon the Great. Right? Salakia, not over here in Babylon the Great. Salakia, committed over there in the Middle East, or Salakia again, Western Asia, and over there against those Palestinians. Right? So what do you think they're going to come over here and do? They're going to come over here and do the exact same thing, especially to you niggas. And it makes sense because one of their, I can't remember what her name was, but one of their leaders over there who said that the biggest threat to the state of Israel is the young black American male, which initially when you hear that, you think about that, and that's crazy as hell. It's like, bitch, we ain't got nothing to do with what you got going on over there, right? But what she's really talking about, she hears this word going out, she hears this truth, and she sees young, right, young men, so-called black men, right, along with the other tribes, the Hispanics and Native Americans, bringing out the truth on these devils, pulling up their receipts that they frauds, phonies, and bringing out the truth of the scriptures. That's the real threat, right? That's what's the real threat to them. You know what I'm saying? So that's why she said what she said. So verse 2, it says, "Take the millstones and grind the mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man, right? So the shame of Babylon is now being seen. Everybody is now seeing this place for what it truly is. Everybody is now seeing America, you know what I'm saying, for the truth of the matter. And everybody is not just, everybody ain't just going with the narrative they pushing now, because everybody knows, especially with the American media and these higher ups, everybody knows them to be lies and liars, to just push some BS and say whatever to you just to get you on board with whatever they're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So it will behoove you to really open your eyes and look and listen to what's really going on.
Here's what would,
Right? So let me play this next video.
here's
I'm finally starting to see
Uh,
people
what would happen to your
goes to
here's what would happen
that.
I'm finally starting to see.
Come on. What the hell?
I'm finally.
Trump is
Snap, no wonder. I'm pressing the wrong link. Slack.
Developing news coming out in the past couple of hours today, July 20th, 2026, as we're hearing that the president of Iran has announced full-scale war is about to take place. It's about to be underway, and we need to all brace for the consequences of what is about to come. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest headlines so that way you can see it for yourself. You can see here, just in, Iran's president Pezeshkian says that Iran is in a full-scale war with the United States. This coming out just a couple of hours ago. Ghalibaf, one of the leaders for Iran, he says Americans keep bringing new military equipment to the region and claim that they're after stopping the war. They've bet on our intelligence being as brief as their own IQ. We've reached the stage of mastery in recognizing these American games, and on a basis, we've prepared ourselves. Actions must confirm claims, not contradict them. You can see this coming out just a little while ago today, and you can see here breaking Iran's foreign ministry on Trump planning to invade Karg Island. Many people on Karg Island are counting down the minutes to finally meet the American soldiers. They're saying preparing for all-out full-scale war announced today. And you can see the headlines coming out today. Pezeshkian tells Iranians to brace for the consequences of a full-scale war with the United States. Not only are we no longer in the MOU, but they are saying this is not a minor war. This is not tit-for-tat escalation. They're preparing to pull out all the stops to escalate this to full scale. Now, man, let me know your thoughts in the comments, because for the 9th straight night in a row, we have seen the United States pummeling Iran with attacks. We're hearing we're degrading their capabilities, yet they're saying they're prepared for all-out full-scale war. Now, take a look. You can see this coming out from Carolyn Levitz from the White House. The U.S. military on Sunday night, last night, unleashed a 9th straight night of punishing aerial strikes on Iran, seeking to degrade Tehran's military capabilities after its attacks on American troops and ships in the Strait of Hormuz. You can see here the headlines: U.S. hits Iran for the 9th consecutive night. As American casualties rise, you can see this coming out yesterday, July 19th, and coming out today, expansion of U.S. strikes on Iran leads to more retaliation across the Gulf, as we're hearing Iran is hitting back. They're hitting U.S. military bases and assets all throughout the Middle Eastern region. And we have actually seen another soldier killed, identified in attacks that took place this weekend. As take a look, the U.S. military identifies 2 soldiers killed during the Iranian strikes in Jordan, and we're hearing another one has been identified and killed as well. So there has been a lot going on, but we're hearing this is going to full-scale, all-out war. Developing news coming out in the past couple of hours today, July 20th.
All right, so that's the video right there, right? So basically Iran is telling you, hey man, we want all the smoke. We ready for whatever you gonna bring. Because there's been talks of Babylon sending ground troops, right, somewhere in the in 2027, I believe, around January or February, right? Because they want the weather to break. Because I think over there in Iran, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe on the Eastern Hemisphere, when we have summer, it's wintertime over there. I believe so. Right? When we have summer, it's wintertime over there. Salakia, I might be wrong. There might be some bullshit they taught me in school. So I might be wrong about that. But I know it's something with the weather that they're looking for the weather to break, right? Before they actually send ground troops down to Iran, right? So so but what Iran is saying is, we're ready. We've been preparing for this day. We've been preparing for you sending your troops, because and they've said we've been preparing for 40 years, because I think it was another situation in the Middle East where where America went over and took over a country. I think the first when that first situation started off with Iraq, and Iran was like, yeah, they're gonna come for us pretty soon. At some point they're gonna come for us. So we gotta be ready. And they're ready. Babylon and its arrogance is the nation that's not ready, right? Especially with all of the wickedness that they've been doing over here in America, right? Salakia, I gotta uh, hop out of here and punch this code in real quick. So Salakia, I gotta hop out this car. Okay, so yeah, basically what Ron is saying is that we've been preparing for you for 4 decades, basically, because we knew that at some point you all were gonna do what you're doing right now, right? And now Babylon didn't even necessarily have to step into this war or step into this situation, right? They did it primarily because of the small hats. They did it primarily because they're doing the bidding of, the you wish people. There's dogs out here, so some stray dogs out here. Oh, damn, get in. I ain't got time for that. But they did it for the bidding of the you wish people, right? And BB Milkowski. So look, let's go ahead and get into some more of these scriptures. Slide. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 14. And yeah, let's start at verse 6. Yeah, let's start at verse 6. It says, "And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, and kindred, and tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear Yahweh, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven, and earth, and the sea, and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication," right? And America has been going across the world spreading its ideologies, philosophies, right? Spreading the Western way, you know, saying that, hey, this is the way that you all should move. This is what you all should be doing. You should be living like us. You should be doing things as we do, right? All that madness, right? And all of the other nations, they're seeing now that this, taking on that Babylonian way has done nothing but, you know, it's done nothing but bring destruction and confusion to the people, right? You got women over there in the Middle East. They went over there and said, hey, y'all should be able to drive. And then, never drove a car before. And then they went over there and it was like, hey, we want to drive. We want to do this. We want to do that. We want to be like the women over there in the West. I don't want to wear my hijab no more. I want to show my ass. I want to be like this. I want to be like that, right? disrupting the order of the country. Now, Ishmael, they sometimes, some ways they did have some extreme things, right? But for the most part, they had their women in order. Their women weren't out here running free and running wild, just like the women over here in the West, right? But they brought that over there. Same thing with Europe, you know. They brought these things over there, this quote unquote freedom, this quote unquote free will, do as thou wilt type of thing. And it's brought nothing but destruction because they say do as thou wilt, but disregard Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Do as thou wilt and rebel against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? But let's go ahead and close out with Revelation 17. And it reads, "And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show thee unto the judge and Salaki, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication," right? You can read about that golden cup in the book of Jeremiah 51, right, where it says that Babylon hath been a golden cup in my hand, right? Verse 5, "And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth." And that's real. This scripture is especially becoming more and more real and revealed in this day, right? The mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Because out of Babylon not only comes these wicked philosophies and ideologies that they push, but out of Babylon they do a lot of these experimentations. They fucking with the weather, fucking with the food, right? Fucking with the water, the atmosphere, the air, and everything like that, right? Doing all of these experimentations on people and animals, and trying to figure out how you can turn males into females and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So all of these things came out of Babylon the Great, came out of America. Verse 6, it says, "And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints," right? And that's going into the harsh, wicked, cruel treatment. Treatment is even an understatement. But all of the things that they did over here to the Israelites, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, right? It's the blood of the saints. It says, "And with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai," right? Because there's going to be men that are going to be martyrs for this ministry, martyrs for the name of Yahweh Shai, right? It says, "And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, Wherefore dost thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest and is not, and shall Salakia. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they beheld the beast that was and is not and yet is. And here's the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth." Mountains are governments. "And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space, right? Let me skip down a little bit. Verse 14, it says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire, right? These NATO nations, they're going to link up with Russia, right? They're eventually going to link up with Russia, and they're going to shoot nukes over at Babylon the Great, right? And burn this place with fire. It says, for the Most High put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth, right? Babylon is that great city because Babylon reigns over the kings of the earth, right? Everybody is looking for everybody's looking to get from under the thumb of Babylon the Great, under the thumb of America, right? So, when these Christians try and say, well, America is in the city, well, there is no one city that rules over the whole world. So that city has to be talking about a country, a nation, a government. And that's what it's talking about. It's talking about here in America, right? So with that, man, Lord willing, this video lesson was edifying, giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Hakodash. And until next time, shalom.